welcome everybody to Wednesday morning slow flow. I'm not Dawn, but we're still gonna do some slow flow. We're gonna start today on our belly. Ladies in the studio are already there. You can come there whenever you're ready. And you're just gonna take your first few moments to arrive. So you're gonna start to bring your focus to your breath. You don't have to control it just yet. We'll get there in a minute. Start to notice that breath, start to observe it. Right, and you really can, when you're on your belly, start to feel it. Right? Feel that belly push into the mat. As you inhale, you feel it pull away as you exhale. So lying on the belly really allows us to become aware of our breath in a different way. Let that breath guide you, ground you to your mat. Let it push all your other distractions to the background so you can be here, just fully focused on your mat, your practice. You can be fully present to your mat, your practice. Once you feel like you've got that full focus on your breath, then you're going to add that element of control to your breath. Just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Allowing your breaths to become longer, slower, deeper. As you inhale, you feel that breath pull all the way into your belly. As you exhale, you push it all the way out. Right now, as you start to inhale and exhale, it might switch, right? You inhale, feel that belly contract away a little bit from the mat because you're breathing so deeply. And then as you exhale, you feel it push back in. So just take a couple breaths right here, kicking that in. And then when you're ready to start moving here, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take our arms out to cactus arms. So you're gonna bend your elbows, palms on the ground. A little bit here so you can see me and your forehead right on the ground. Now, bend into your right knee. It's not gonna come up in the air, right? You're just gonna bend into it. And you're gonna slide that right knee up towards your left elbow. Just take 2 or 3 breaths right here. We're just starting to open up the hips. Now, slide that right leg back. Now do the same with the left leg, right? Bend into the left knee, slide it all the way forward, bring it towards your left elbow. You can take your head to the side so you're looking at your left arm. You can take your forehead to the mat, or you can look up if that feels better to you. Take 3 breaths here. from there, you're gonna slide that right leg, left leg all the way back. Now, pull your elbows in toward your chest so that your shoulders come right over your elbows, and just prop yourself up into a Sphinx pose. You should feel a little pull in your low back. We're letting that low back open now. Take 3 breaths here. And then from there, now you're gonna slide your hands back towards your chest, right? Push those palms into the mat and just come up into a tabletop. That's hands and knees pose. So now you've got your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. As we inhale here, we're gonna take a couple of cat-cows, right? So we're just gonna lift the chin up to the sky, tuck the tailbone under, let the belly drop. That's cow. Now as you exhale, you're gonna tuck your chin to your chest, round out your back, hollow out your armpits. That's cat. So just keep moving here. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. So you can be going faster or slower than me. As you do these, you can be going faster or slower than anybody else here. Just let yourself move with one breath, one movement. All right, eventually, we're going to meet back in neutral tabletop. Now, as we come to neutral tabletop, you're gonna tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, come into your first down dog of the morning. Spread your fingertips wide like starfish, point your finger at the front of the mat, let your head drop between your shoulder blades, push your belly towards your upper thighs, right? We're not gonna do our sun salutations just yet, we're gonna warm up a little bit more, but this is your first down dog of the morning, right? So I want you to really start to pay attention to what's going on with your body. So if you want to here, you can add a little movement, bend one knee, then the other, with that walk in the dog. Maybe you're swaying your hips from side to side. Maybe you're just staying still. Just check in with your body. Notice how it feels today, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. Where are you gonna push forward? Where are you gonna hold back? All right, from here, bend your knees slightly. Look between your thumbs. Now you're gonna bring your feet forward to your hands. So you're in this forward fold, belly touching the upper thighs, head hanging heavy and long. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Make sure there's no creases in the back of your neck. If you want to here, you can take a little half lift into monkey, pulling your shoulders even with your hips before you sink back down. Bend your knees as much as you need to here to get that belly to touch the upper thighs. You don't have to be straight-legged. All right, we're gonna get into our legs a lot here, a little extra warm up. What you're gonna do from here, keep your right foot forward. Step your left foot way back behind you, right? So you're in runner's lunge. Once you're there, just gently drop that left knee down to your mat. Right, so you've got your right knee right over your right ankle, left leg's behind you. You want that left knee back behind your left hip. Look up towards the front of the room. All we're gonna do here, you're gonna shift back, straighten out your right leg. Let your right toe slip up off the mat, drape your upper body over that right leg. Now we're not gonna stay here, we're just gonna come forward again and we're just gonna move forward and back. So you push that right knee over your right ankle, you look up, you straighten that right leg, let your toes flip up, bring your nose towards your right knee. And just do that 3 or 4 more times. All right, now eventually, we're gonna meet back in that runner's lunge. Now you're gonna tuck your left toes under, come up off your left knee. Now, you're gonna drop your left heel. If you need to here, you can move your left foot closer to your right knee. You can have those left toes totally turned out towards the left side of the room, or they can be pointed more towards the front of the room. But you want that heel on the ground. What we're gonna do here is shift to full pyramid and back, right? So you've got that right knee over your right ankle. Now, just like we did before, you're gonna push back, straighten out that right leg, bring your nose towards your right knee, and then bend back into your right knee and look up, right? So you're just straightening and bending that right leg again, but this time off the left knee, intensifying the stretch just a little bit more. All right, do that 3 or 4 more times. And then eventually, we're gonna meet back here with that bent right knee. Now bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. And then you're just gonna take a little yogi walk, straighten your right leg out, turn your right toes towards the left side of the room. So you're coming into this wide forward fold here, facing the left side of the room. I'm gonna face towards the camera. All right. And then from there, bend into your left knee, so your back knee, right? And lift your hands up, bring your hands to heart center, put your left elbow to your left knee. So you're a little skandasana here. Now, push your left leg all the way straight and bend into your right knee. Bring your right elbow to your right knee. As you're staying low, but you're just going back and forth here, back and forth. Straightening one leg, bending the other. All right, do that a couple more times. And then eventually come to a stop with a bend in your left knee, so towards the back of the room. Now, you're gonna take your left hand, either you're gonna keep your left elbow on your left knee, or if you can, drop your left hand down to the mat inside your left foot. Take your right hand, lift it up to the sky. You're just taking a little twist. There we go. Now, let that right hand come down, push your left leg straight. Now bend into your right knee. And again, you can drop your right elbow on your right knee, or you can drop that right hand inside your right foot. Take your left hand up to the sky. Let that left hand come down, push both legs straight. So now your toes are pointed towards the left side of the room. Let yourself really sink down just for a breath into that wide forward fold. Bring the crown of your head towards the ground. And then from here, what we're gonna do, you're gonna walk yourself around. You're gonna go towards the back of the room, right? So towards the back of your mat, if you're at home, right? And you're walking around towards your left foot. So now you're in a runner's lunge with your left toes pointed towards the back of the room, letting that right heel lift. You're gonna drop that right knee down, flatten out your right foot. So now we're here in this runner's lunge, facing the back of the room or the back of the mat. Okay? We're gonna do the same thing on this side. You're gonna push that left leg all the way straight, straighten out your left leg. And then walk it back forward. Bend into your left knee, look towards the back of the room. Right, just do that 3 or 4 more times. And then eventually, we're gonna be back here with our left knee over the left ankle. Right now, just like we did on the other side, you're gonna tuck your right toes under, come up off your right knee, let your right heel drop, right? Left knee's over the left ankle. You can angle your right toes wherever you want. You can move that foot in or move it further back, but you want that right heel on the ground. You're gonna push your left leg straight into your pyramid, and then bend back into that left knee, look up. So just go back and forth here a few times. Eventually, you're gonna bend back into that left knee, look up. Now we're gonna bring our hands to the inside of the left foot and walk it all the way around into a wide forward fold again. All right, so now you're facing the left side of the room. All right, but you're really sinking into that fold, letting the crown of your head go towards the floor. Right, maybe take your hands, cup around the back of your heels, pull yourself a little lower. Now, release your hands here, bring them to the center of your mat. Keep that left hand on the mat, take your right hand up to the sky. So you're taking a little twist right here. Then let that left hand come all the way down, or right hand, sorry, plant the right hand, now take that left hand up to the sky. Here we go. Let that left hand come down, sink back into your fold. Then take your hands off the mat, sweep them around behind your back, interlace your hands behind your back. So you're going to the thumbs on the low back, the knuckles pointed towards the back wall. Now use those hands right, kind of punch those knuckles towards the right side of the room and draw yourself all the way up to standing. Right now, as we come all the way up to standing here, now you're going to press your knuckles towards the floor, pull your shoulder blades together, push your chest and your gaze up to the sky, push your hips forwards. We're taking a little back bend here. As you inhale, come up tall, shoulders over the hips. Now you're going to release your hands, sweep them up to the sky, right? And then from here, you're going to take your right hand and just drop it to your right side. Reach that left hand up and over. So take a little side bend. Come back up to center. Now drop your left hand. Reach your right hand up and over. Come back to center. Now from here, take both hands long, palms towards the ground. Hinge at the hip, push your hips back behind you. Come to that place where your chest is hovering the ground, is parallel to the ground. The crown of your head is towards left wall. Your legs are straight. All right, then from there, just let your hands come to the mat. Let the crown of your head go back towards the mat. Bring yourself back to a wide forward fold. So that's our sun salutation today, basically. We're going to do it 2 more times through. It moves our spine in all its different directions. We're going to do it twice more. We're going to stay in this wide stance the whole time, all right? So you're going to plant your left hand on the mat in the center. Take your right hand up to the sky. Let that right hand come down and plant. Take your left hand up to the sky. Let that left hand come down and plant, right? And then sweep your hands back behind you. You're going to lace them behind your back. Punch those knuckles towards the right wall. Draw yourself all the way up to standing. As you come up to standing, pull your shoulder blades together. Push your knuckles towards the floor. Hips go forward. Chest and gaze go up. Back bending. Inhale, come up tall. Shoulders over the hips. Release your hands. Sweep them up to the sky. Drop your right hand to your right thigh. Raise that left hand up and over. Come back up. Drop that left hand to your left side. Reach the right hand up and over. Come back to center. Now take your arms out to a T, palms face down, and then start to hinge at the hip. Push those hips back behind you. Bring that chest parallel to the ground, crown of the head pointed towards the front. And then drop your hands all the way to the mat. Sink back into your forward fold. All right, we're going to do that 1 more time through here. All right? So take your hands to the center of the mat. Plant your left hand. Take the right hand up to the sky. Let the right hand come down. Plant it. Take the left hand up to the sky. Let the left hand come down and plant. Sweep your hands back behind you. Push those knuckles towards the back wall. Drive it all the way up to standing. Pull the shoulder blades together. Go right into your back bend. Inhale, come up. Shoulders over the hips. Reach your hands up to the sky. Drop your right hand to your right side. Reach that left hand up and over. Come back up to center. Drop your left hand to your left side. Reach that right hand up and over. Bring it all back up to center. And then from there, take your arms out to a T, palms face down, hinge at the hip, bring your chest parallel to the ground. And then let yourself come all the way back down to forward fold. All right, now from here, you're in your forward fold. You're going to turn your right toes back towards the front of the room. And then you're going to walk it all the way around. We're back in runner's lunge, facing the top of the mat. All right, so you got your right knee right over your right ankle, left leg nice and long. Now here you're going to drop that left heel again, so your left toes point to the left, and we're just going to rise up into our warrior one. So you're peeling that upper body up off the mat, getting your hips square towards the front of the room. Take your hands up to the sky. Now, once you've got those hips square, take your right hand, reach it back behind you. Take your left hand, reach it forward. You can let your left heel come up here if you want to. Just open arm twist, facing the right side of the room. And then from there, bring that left hand all the way up and around. So it's reaching forward. Lean forward over your right thigh. So you're hovering over your right thigh, right? Your chest is parallel. Your palms are facing each other. Thumbs are up to the sky. Let's see that here, right? So here we are. Now, you're going to turn your palms down towards the ground. Push them all the way back behind you. So now you've got your palms up to the sky, still hovering over that right knee. Now, drop that right heel, right? Come up, bring your hands to heart center. Push your right leg all the way straight. Bend into your left knee, and just like we did before, right? Touch your left elbow to your left knee. Here, if you want to make this really deep, you can, right? Let your right toe flip up off the mat. Let your left heel come up off the mat. You don't have to go this deep. Now, push into your right foot, or left foot, sorry. Put that left foot on the ground, put your right toes on the ground. Walk yourself back around towards your right leg. So you're bending into your right knee. So we're here in this runner's lunge. Turn your left toes forward. Now, the one little power move here, right? You're going to take your right leg, take it all the way up to the sky. Pick it up. And then from there, you're going to bend back into it, right? And then put it in between your thumbs. Once you get here, right, drop that left heel again. Reach your right hand forward. And then come all the way up into warrior two. Got the deep, deep bend in the right knee. Send the right knee towards the pinky toe side of the foot, arms long here, looking right over the middle finger on your right hand. Turn your right palm up to the sky, scoop up with that left hand, come along the left thigh. Reach those right fingertips back. So now you're here in reverse warrior. You can wrap your left hand around the back if that feels better. You can look over your left shoulder, or you can look up at your right fingertips. All right, from here we're gonna cartwheel our hands around. They're gonna land on either side of the right foot. Turn your left toes forward. Step your left foot forward to meet your right. Come back to forward fold. All right, take a half lift to monkey here. Pull your shoulders even with your hips. And let yourself fold back down, belly to thighs. This time as we inhale, we're gonna peel up into chair. So bend your knees, send your hips back and down, reach your arms forward, and then pull them to heart center. So palms to heart center, elbows going out to the sides. Take a deep inhale here. As you exhale, we're gonna twist to the right. So you're gonna bring that left elbow towards your right knee. Maybe you hook it over, maybe it's right on top of your right knee, maybe it's to the inside of your right knee. You want your thumbs to still stay at heart center, right? You don't want them to go up towards your right shoulder, right? That just means you're leaning forward. Trying to get everything facing the right side of the room. Now that left knee is going to bump a little bit in front of the right. That's okay. Right? That's what we want here. So keep our pelvis in line, but don't over exaggerate it. All right, now as you untwist here, you're just going to straighten your legs, drop your hands back down to the mat, and back to forward fold. This time, keep your left foot forward and step your right foot way back behind you. Come to runner's lunge. All right, as we come to runner's lunge here, now you're gonna drop your right heel to the mat. So your right toes point to the right, and then just like we did on the other side, peel it up, come into warrior one. All right, so your hips are square towards the top of your mat, hands are reaching up to the sky. Deep, deep bend in that left knee. Now for this next part, you can keep your right heel on the ground, you can lift it up to you, right? But you're gonna take that left hand, reach it back behind you, take your right hand, reach it forward, so you guys are twisting towards the stability balls, the twists.
Oops, I'm
Okay,
one
that's
leg.
Twist. All right, and then from here, we're just gonna take that left hand around, so you're gonna reach up and over, and you're just hovering over your left thigh. Palms are facing each other. I don't know how enough space just to see everything that's going on with the camera today. All right, palms are facing each other, thumbs are up to the sky. Bring that chest right over the left thigh, just feel it in your quad, in your glute, and left leg. Now, face your palms towards the ground, push them back. Come into your thunderbolt. All right, and then from thunderbolt, if you don't already, drop that right heel. If you don't have dropped already, bring your hands to heart center. Push in that left leg so it straightens. Bend into that right knee, touch your right elbow to your right knee. So now you're in the Skandasana. If you want to make it really deep, right, you can let your right heel lift, let your left toes flip up off the mat. You don't have to, you can keep it shallower. And wherever you are, push back into that right leg, bend back into that left knee. Bring your hands around so they're on either side of your left foot. Let those right toes turn towards the front of the room. Here's our little power move here. You're gonna step back with your left foot, take it up to the sky. And then from there, bend back into that left knee, step it through between your thumbs, come back to runner's lunge. Once you get back to that runner's lunge, you're gonna drop your right heel again, right toes point to the right, lead with your right hand, reach it forward, cartwheel it around, bring it up to warrior two. So deep, deep bend in that left knee, send that left knee towards the pinky toe side of the foot. Turn your right palm up to, left palm up to the sky, scoop up, right hand's gonna go along your right thigh or wrap behind your back. So we're in this reverse warrior. Remember, you can look up at your left fingertips, you can look back over your right shoulder, but keep bending into that left knee, create that space. All right, now from here, your hands are gonna cartwheel around. They're gonna land on either side of your left foot. Now turn your right toes forward. Step your right foot forward to meet your left. Come back to forward fold. All right, this time from our forward fold, we peel it up into chair. One more time. So you bend your knees. Send your hips back and down. Peel that upper body up, right? Make sure you can look down when you're in your chair. You can see your toes, you can wiggle your toes. Bring your palms together, pull them to heart center. This time, we're gonna twist to the left. So you're bringing that right elbow towards the left knee. Maybe it's hooking over, maybe it's just hovering, maybe it's on the left knee, maybe it's inside the left knee. Think about your thumbs being at true heart center. That's your prayer twist when we're in the chair. All right, now untwist here, straighten your legs and just drop your hands down to the mat. Come back to forward fold. Take another half lift to monkey. Just to reset the back here, and then fold back down. Now, we're gonna do all that again. Right, this time, we're gonna go a little faster through the parts we've already done, and then we're gonna add a little bit on, all right? So you're gonna keep your right foot forward, step your left foot back, come to your runner's lunge. Drop that left heel so your left toes point to the left, rise up into your warrior one. From your warrior one, left heel stays up or down, sweep your backwards. Sorry, I'm on the wrong way. There we go. Why is it not working? All right, you're going to take your left hand back. You're going to reach your right hand forward. So we're twisting, maybe let those left toes lift. We're twisting towards the right side. There we go. Now, bring that left hand around. Let yourself hover over your right thigh. Palms reaching forward. Turn your palms down towards the ground. Sweep your hands back behind you. Come to that thunderbolt. Now, if your left heel is lifted, drop it here. Push your right leg straight, bring your hands to heart center, bend into your left knee, touch your left elbow to your left knee. Take it really low if you want to, or stay right where you are. Now you're pushing into that left foot, bending back into your right knee, dropping your hands on either side of your right foot. Turn those left toes forward. Here's our power move. You're gonna take that right foot, kick it straight up to the sky in a one-legged dog, and then step it all the way back through, come to runner's lunge. Once you're back in your runner's lunge, drop your left heel again, so your left toes point to the left. Lead with your left hand. Cartwheel yourself open to warrior two. Turn your right palm up to the sky. Scoop up, reverse warrior. Right now, here's where we're going to add on. All right, you're gonna bring that left hand up to the sky. Bring it to touch the right, so your palms are touching. Arms come overhead. You're gonna turn your torso toward your right knee, and then just keep twisting like we did in the chair. You're gonna bring that left elbow all the way towards the right knee. So you're in this prayer twist lunge. You can let your left heel lift, or you can keep it down. Or you can hook that left elbow over the right knee. Maybe it just hovers. Maybe it's inside. Maybe it's on top. Now, as we untwist here, everybody's gonna drop that left heel. Push your right leg straight. Turn your right toes towards the left edge of your mat. Take your hands up to the sky. So now we're here in a five-pointed star. You're reaching way up high towards the ceiling, lengthening out your spine. Now, from here, you're gonna turn your heels in and your toes out. Bend your knees, drop your hips, bend your elbows, come to goddess. So right here, it's goddess pose. Sink as low as you can, like there's a string on your tailbone pulling you down towards the ground. And then from here, push your left leg all the way straight. And then bend back into it, push your right leg all the way straight. Right? So you have those goddess legs, but you're just going back and forth a couple times. Come back to your goddess. And then from there, pull your elbows together. Elbows come together, palms come together. So your thumbs are kind of right in front of your face. Now, keep your goddess legs. Just hinge at the hip. Point your fingertips towards the ground. Bring the crown of your head towards the ground. And then from there, bring it all the way back up. As you come back up, you're going to peel your elbows open, come back into goddess. Now this time, from your goddess, right? Straighten your legs, turn your toes forward, and then just drop your hands down to the mat. Back to 5-2, wide-legged forward fold. Take a half lift here. Pull your shoulders even with your hips. Maybe your fingertips are still on the ground. Maybe they're dangling. Then come back down. From there, you're gonna walk yourself back into runner's lunge at the front of the room. Step your left foot forward to meet your right. And then from there, we're gonna come back up to chair. Bend your knees, send your hips back and down. Hands come to heart center. Take that twist to the right. Bring your left elbow toward your right knee. And then straighten out your legs. Drop your hands to the mat. Forward fold. All right, this time as we come to forward fold. Last time through, right, we're gonna do on the left side, the whole thing. Keep your left foot forward, step your right foot way back behind you, come to runner's lunge. Left knee right over the left ankle. Take that right heel, turn it towards the ground. Inhale, rise up, into your warrior one. Square your hips towards the top of your mat. Now from here, we're gonna twist. Bring your right hand, scoop it back behind you, take your left hand, reach it forward, and let your right hand lift if you want. Take that left hand, bring it forward so you're hovering over that left thigh. Turn your palms to the ground. Sweep your hands back behind you. And from there, we drop that right heel. We push the left leg straight. Hands come to heart center. Bend into the left knee. Touch your left elbow to your left knee. Push your left leg straight. Bend back into your right knee. Drop your hands on, or sorry, send that backwards. Push your right leg straight. Bend into your left knee. Drop your hands on either side of your left foot. Turn those right toes forward. Now we take that power move. You're going to take your left leg, kick it all the way up to the sky. And then step it all the way through. Come back to runner's lunge. As we come to runner's lunge here, now you're going to drop that right heel. Lead with your right hand. Curl around, come up to warrior two. Turn your right palm up to the sky. Scoop up, reverse warrior. Right. Now, here's where we add it on, right? You're going to take that right hand, bring it up, bring your palms together. Turn your chest towards the top of the mat and just keep twisting to the left. Bring that right elbow towards the left knee. So in this prayer twist lunge here, your right heel can be up or down. Now, everybody's going to drop that right heel down. You're going to push your left leg straight, straighten out your left leg, turn your left toes towards the right edge of your mat. Take your hands up to the sky. Now we're here in our five-pointed star. Right, from your five-pointed star, heels go in. Toes go out, bend your knees, drop your hips, bend your elbows, come into that goddess. String, pull your tailbone down to the floor. All right, we're gonna do those pulses again. So push the left leg straight, push the right leg straight. Just going side to side a couple times, keeping your elbows even with your shoulders, keeping your goddess arms right now. There we go. Now, come back to goddess. Bring your elbows all the way together in front of you. Right, let your elbows touch, and then bring your palms to touch. You're staring right at your thumbs. Dive forward, fingertips, crown of the head, come towards the ground. And then from there, you start to rise back up. As you rise back up, open up those arms again. Goddess. Sink low. And then push your legs all the way straight. Turn your toes towards the long edge of your mat and come back down into your wide forward fold. Take a half lift here. Pull your shoulders even with your hips. Fold back down. Now we're going to walk back around towards the left leg. So walk yourself back in a runner's lunge. Step your right foot forward to meet your left. Come to forward fold. And then from here, last time we're going to come up into chair. Bend your knees, send your hips back and down. Bring your hands to heart center, and then take your twist to the left. Bring that right elbow towards the left knee. Untwist here, come back to forward fold. Okay. And then from our forward fold, this time, we're going to toe pull our feet out wide. It's the edges of the mat. Okay. Turn your heels in and your toes out. Bend at your knees and drop your hips. Come to Halasana squat. So you're pressing those knees open with your elbows. Now, if Halasana squat isn't good for you, right, you can sit down on a block, Christy's doing, or if it's not good for you with or without the block, you don't have a block, you can always drop all the way down to your glutes and bring the soles of your feet together. Come to this bound ankle, right? Still letting your elbows press into your knees, still opening up those hips. So you decide where you want to be. Halasana, Halasana with the block, or here in bound ankle. Wherever you are, close your eyes. Take a few moments, reconnect with your breath. All right, so you have to control, but you do want to make sure you have still that control of your breath. Right? If you lost it, you can reassert it. You want to make sure you still have that focus on your breath. If you lost that focus, reassert it. Lengthen your breaths again, slow them again, deepen them again. So let's do our core work here. We're gonna come into tabletop. So wherever you are, bring it around into tabletop. All right, I'm gonna come sideways so you guys can see what I'm doing here. All right, now from your tabletop, you're just gonna tuck your toes under. And then take your knees, just lift them an inch or two off the mat. So it's that hovering table. Kind of rounding your back, you can tuck your chin, push your palms away from the mat. Now we're just gonna hold this for 3 breaths. And then drop your knees all the way down. Right. Flatten out your feet here. Push your hands away from the mat. Now you're gonna bring it all the way up to a high kneel. So high kneel looks like this, right? Just lift it up and take your hands up towards the ceiling. Now from here, you're gonna take your right hand. It's gonna reach back behind you. Now you're leaning back. You're gonna reach your right fingertips towards your right heel, right? Maybe you can get there if you tuck your toes. Maybe your right hand just lands in your calf or your thigh or your glute. It's all good, right? But you're making that left hand really reaching it up and over your right shoulder, looking over your right shoulder. It's a half camel, so we're gonna hold this for 3 breaths. So 2 more breaths here. And then cartwheel your hands around, bring them back into tabletop. All right, once you're in tabletop, one more time, you're gonna tuck those toes, lift your knees, hovering table, just 3 breaths here. Now, drop your knees down, push your hands away from the mat, bring it back up into high kneel. From your high kneel, take your left hand, sweep it back. You're gonna reach toward your left heel. If you can grab your right heel, that's great. If you're on your calf or your thigh or your glute, that's good too. Reach those right fingertips over your left shoulder. So you're spiraling to the left. Hold 3 breaths here. Now, cartwheel your hands around, bring it back into tabletop, all right? So we're gonna do that another couple times through. This time, we're gonna take out those holds, right? So you tuck your toes, you lift your knees up, you're just holding for a breath this time, and then you drop those knees down. You push it right up to high kneel, and then you sweep it back to your version of half camels. Come back up, bring it back to tabletop, lift your knees just for a breath, drop them back down, sweep it back up to high kneel, sweep that left hand back, reach that right hand up and over, half camel. Curl your hands back around, come back to tabletop. One more time through, lift those knees just for a breath. Drop them down, push it up to high kneel. Sweep that right hand back, half camel. Curl your hands around, tabletop. Lift it up, high kneel, or not high kneel, hovering table. Drop those knees down. Now come to high kneel, right? Reach that left hand back. Last half camel here. Cartwheel it all the way around. Come back to tabletop. And then one more time, we just lift those knees, hold it for a breath, drop them all the way down. Now, flatten out your feet here. Push your hips back toward your heels. Come back into child's pose. Let your head come all the way down to the mat. Reach those arms forward. When you're ready here, bring it back up to tabletop. All right, and now we're gonna stay in tabletop, but you're gonna turn, let's all turn towards the right side of the room, right? So your knees are still gonna be on the mat, but your hands are gonna be on the mat, so you're gonna be facing, so if you're here, facing the same way up, right? Your head's facing towards that right wall. Your knees are still on the mat, your palms can be off the mat. Now you're gonna take your knees as wide as you possibly can, right? Now as you come here though, what you want is for your knees to be even with your ankles and your toes turned out to the sides, right? So this is frog pose. Now it's not like child's pose. You keep your hips over your knees, but you're gonna start to walk it out, letting your chest come towards the ground. So maybe you come to your elbows, you can take it all the way out and bring your head down, right? But your knees are wide, your toes are turned out. So you look like a little frog, that's what we call it, frog pose. Now, if this is way too much for you, right, you can always turn your toes in towards each other, bring them all the way until they touch each other, but you're staying in the same pose otherwise. That's called tadpole, a little gentler, right? You decide what you want here. Hold here, another 5 breaths. Told this story before, but it's worth repeating, right? Once upon a time, I took a master class from a famous yogi named Johnny Cass. He put us into this pose. He didn't tell us. He's like, hey, we're just going to hang out here for a while. We stayed in the pose for 8 minutes. We are not going to stay here for 8 minutes. But let's just stay here for 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, right, you're going to come back up to your palms from wherever you were. And then slowly, slowly start to move those knees back in, right? Now, from here, come to your tabletop. Just make a couple of hip circles. It's going to feel good. Bump your hips over to the right. I don't need you to talk to me, watch. Right, take your hips over to the right, and then drop them down so that that right hip is just outside that right heel. Let's get them all the way over to that left hip is outside the left heel, and then come back up. So you're just circling around. Just do 3 or 4 circles like that. And then we're going to go the other way. Take your knees to the left, push them back, come around. All right, now eventually let's meet back in neutral tabletop here. And then from here, we're going to do a thread the needle. So you're going to take your right hand, lift it up to the sky. And then as you exhale, you're going to dive those right fingertips underneath your left armpit. Let your right shoulder come all the way to the ground, right? Let the crown of your head, or let the right side of your head come to the ground. So you're looking to the left, you're looking at those right fingertips, they're reaching towards the left side of the room. Now you can take that left hand, either you reach it all the way forward, opening up that left chest, or maybe you take your left arm and wrap it around behind your back, opening up that left shoulder a little bit, right? Up to you here. Now, if you want to, you can add on with that left foot steps out. Either you have that left foot flat to the mat, like I do right now, with your left toes pointed towards the front of the room, or you can take those left toes, turn them so that your left toes are pointed toward your right fingertips and your left heel's lifted. Right, so you decide where you want to go. You don't have to add that left knee on at all. You can keep that left knee in and just be here. Right? Lots of different options. I want you to find what feels the best to you. We're just going to hold here for 4 more breaths. And then from there, unwrap that left hand. Right, put it down by your face. Right. And even if it was reaching in front of you, right, pull it back so the left palm is right by your face. Use it to push yourself up. Throw that right arm, bring it back up. And then drop it all the way down. All right, now we're going to do that on the other side. So now you're going to take your left arm, lift it up to the sky. And then you're going to dive those left fingertips underneath your right armpit. Let your left shoulder come all the way down. The left side of your head come down. Either that right hand's reaching forward toward the front of the room, or it's wrapping around behind your back. Whatever feels good to you here. Again, if you want to step out with your right foot, you can. Either your right toes are going to point towards the top of the mat with your right foot flat, or you turn that right foot so your right toes are pointed towards your left fingertips. Right? If you don't want to step out with the right foot, you don't. You stay right there. Maybe you keep that right hand reaching forward. If you reach forward with that right hand, you're opening up your right chest a little bit. If you wrap that hand behind your back, you're opening up that right shoulder. But the main focus here is the left shoulder, right? We're opening that left shoulder. All right, now when you're ready to come out of this, right, you step that right foot in, you're gonna you're gonna step it back in, take that left hand wherever it was, or right hand, bring it back by your face, use that right palm, press into it, open up with your right hand, and then come back down to tabletop. All right, now this time, from our tabletop, you're just gonna let your hips fall to one side or the other. Swing your legs around in front of you. Then you're just gonna take your legs out super wide as you possibly can, right? I'm just getting back here so I can take my legs wider. And I want you to see me in the camera, right? So I'm taking my legs as wide as I possibly can. Now you're sitting up tall at first, like there's that string on top of your head pulling you up towards the ceiling. Right? You're gonna bring your hands right in front of you, and then you're just gonna walk forward here. You're bringing your chest as far forward as you can. Now if you have a block, maybe you have that block underneath your hands, right? That helps you get a little further forward, keeping that flat back, keeping that connection with the earth, right? Maybe if you can go far forward enough, use the block as a landing place for your head, put your forehead on the block. Right? Maybe you don't use the block at all, it's fine. But you want to feel this in your inner thigh. As long as you're feeling that, right, you're doing the right thing. Keep your toes pointed up to the sky, keep your knees pointed up to the sky. Don't let everything flop out. That takes away from the stretch, right? You really want to feel that stretch in our inner thighs. Maybe a little bit in the low back too. All right, take 4 more breaths here, wherever you are. All right, now slowly start to walk it back up. This time as we walk back up, now you're gonna bring your legs together. Bend into your knees, put your feet on the ground, right? I'm gonna come over here, see my whole body. Got my toes at the very top of the mat. I'm gonna reach my hands forward, tuck my chin to my chest, round it out. So I'm laying all the way down on the mat. All right, so once you're down here all the way on the mat, walk your heels a little closer to your feet, as close as you can possibly get them. Maybe you're getting them close enough that you can feel your fingertips brush the back of your heels. And then from there, you're gonna press into all 4 corners of your feet and lift your hips up to the sky. So in this nice, gentle bridge, if you have a block and you want to slide that block under your hips, make it a supported bridge, you can, right? Whether you're supported or unsupported, your shoulders should be at least slightly tucked so your chest is puffing open. If you're unsupported and you want to make this really deep, you can work one entire shoulder, then the other underneath your body. Clasp your hands underneath your body. That'll push your hips even higher. You are, just take 2 more breaths. We're trying to increase the flexibility of the back here. Maybe you're doing it with leverage of the block. If you're in the supported bridge, if you're in an unsupported bridge, you're doing it with the strength in your legs, right? So engage your quads, engage your glutes. You're using that strength in your legs to push your hips higher so you can increase the flexibility of your back. All right, from here, if you're in an unsupported bridge, you're just gonna let those hips tag back down to the ground. Right? If you're in supported bridge, maybe you want to keep that block there for your waterfall. Maybe if you weren't in supported bridge, you want to add a block there for your waterfall. Maybe you want to keep your hips on the ground for waterfall. In waterfall, we take our feet straight up to the sky. We flex them like we're going to step on the ceiling. If you've got that block under your hips here, it makes this slightly more intense because you've elevated your hips slightly. You don't have to use a block. You can just have your hips flat on the ground. Right? We've got those feet flexed like we're going to step on the ceiling. The blood can go from the feet, where it pools all day, back to the head and the heart where we need it more. Now, shoulder stand or plow is in your practice and you want to take it there, this is where you go for that, right? In shoulder stand, you lift your hips up on your own, put your hands in the small of your back, so you're supporting yourself on your shoulders and your forearms. In shoulder stand, our feet become kind of half flexed, half pointed. If you're in shoulder stand, your elbows stay straight towards the front of the room, right? because you want that body weight to come to your shoulder girdle, not to your elbow joint. If you're feeling like you want all the way in plow today, right, then you let your feet go back behind you so they touch the ground behind your head. Right, you don't have to do any of that. You can stay in a regular waterfall. We're getting all sorts of great inversion benefits no matter what version of the inversion you're in. Right, in addition to that increased circulation I talked about, we're also naturally lowering our blood pressure, flooding the body with all sorts of anti-aging, anti-stress hormones, resetting our circadian rhythm. That's our sleep cycle, finding our body when it needs to be awake and when it should be asleep. All good things happen when we get a little bit upside down. All right, when you're ready to come out of this, we're all going to come out of it the same way. Bend your knees, let them scrape right along your face and body. Slowly drop your feet back down to the mat. As your feet come back down to the mat, you still have that block underneath your hips. Now you're going to lift your hips up, slide that block out from underneath you. Let your hips be flat on the ground. We're going to come to Happy Baby here. Right, so in Happy Baby, our feet come up again. Right, but this time, you're going to separate your feet. Maybe slightly, maybe a lot, that's up to you. Then you're going to bend your knees. Maybe a slight bend, maybe a big bend, maybe you don't bend at all. Again, that's up to you. Reach up for your same foot with your same hand. If you don't grab the foot, then you just grab your ankle, or your shin, or your knee. Wherever you make that connection, it's good. Once you've made it though, roll forward just a little bit so you feel that sacrum, the low part of your back, press into the mat. Once that sacrum is pressing into the mat, then you can rock from side to side. And it should feel good, like you're giving yourself a little spinal massage. If it doesn't feel good, you don't have to do the rock, right? You can stay still. Now that you're in the pose, you can change your leg position if you want. Maybe your legs want to come wider, straighter, bend more, come in more. Just find somewhere where it feels really delicious to you. Hang out there for a couple breaths. All right, now from here, you're going to hug your knees all the way in to your chest. And let your arms go out long, like wings in a T position. As you exhale here, drop your knees to the right, both knees, right? So your left knee just stacks on top of your right. Take your chin and your gaze to the left. Now, if you want to make this deeper here, you can take your right hand, press those knees closer to the earth, right? Or maybe you extend your legs as your toes go towards your right fingertips. Maybe you just stay where you are. Up to you. But you're looking over your left shoulder, you're keeping that left shoulder anchored. That's what's giving you the twist. From here, bring your knees back up to center. And then as you exhale, drop your knees to the left. Take your chin, your gaze to the right this time. All right, so again, you can make it deeper. Press down on the knees with your left hand, or maybe extend those toes toward your left fingertips. Look over your right shoulder. Keep that right shoulder anchored. We always finish off with this twist, just to seal off our practice. Let our bodies remember the thing they did today. So next time we come practice yoga, it's all a little easier. Go everywhere, a little deeper. So on your next inhale, pull those knees back up to center. Give them one final hug into your chest. And let's set up for our final pose, our Shavasana. Let your legs go out long. Take your hands to your sides. Right, that's your traditional Shavasana, flat on your back. Now, that being said, if that's not comfortable to you, you don't have to stay there. You have other options. You can bend your knees. You can butterfly your legs. You can roll to your belly. You can roll to your side. You can sit up. Just find somewhere to be where you're perfectly comfortable, where you're going to be able to stay perfectly still, and most important, where your mind is going to be able to go perfectly quiet. All right, if you have a towel, you're in the studio, obviously, when I come around and spray your towel, a little sea salt spray. Just a little something, something. Get a little deeper into the Shavasana. Now, if you're home and you have a towel, obviously, but put it over your eyes. Or just close your eyes. Let your breath guide you to that quiet of mind. You don't have to control it anymore. We're done with that now, right? Let it go. Let it do what it wants to do. But keep noticing it, keep observing it. Let it take over. Let it begin to guide you. Let yourself begin to follow it. When you can truly do that, your breath will take you right to a place where there's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. And when you get there, that's your true quiet of the mind. Slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, your toes, feeling that increased sensation that comes with a quiet mind. If you want to here, take your arms overhead. Do a nice full deep body stretch. And from there, just roll over onto your right side in a fetal position. Take a couple breaths there just to reacclimate to our space. Let the sights and the sounds of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right there. When you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated. And we'll close here. All right, so we're just going to close with our 2 Bhamari breaths and then an Om. The Bhamari breath, we inhale, as we exhale, make the little humming sound in the back of the throat. And the Om is the universal syllable, uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths, so you can just listen. Let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Om. Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this morning. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste. All right. Now, that's it for us until after Thanksgiving, right? Obviously, I'm not going to be here tonight for Yin because I was here this morning for this. And we'll be closed Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for Thanksgiving. But I'll be back on Sunday morning at 10 for some gentle yoga. So come join me for that. We've got a special schedule for next week. It should be up. So check that out. But otherwise, if you need any classes over the next 3 days, there's like 105 up there, probably more than that, on the website, so or on the Facebook group. So check it out, and I'll see you guys Sunday, okay? Have a great Thanksgiving. Love you. Bye.